This is the 2,000 points of the 17 Shetland Light Dragoons, which will be facing off against Jeremy's Orks today. It's organized into 2 battalion formations and then 1 spearhead formation. The first battalion formation is Tempestus Scions, led by Tempestor Prime. He is joined by 1 Primaris Psyker. It's got 3 units of Tempestus Scions. 2 of them are 7-man units. Sergeant with a pistol and power sword. There's the second one. And the third one is an 8-man unit. Sergeant again with the power sword and the pistol. But then I have 2 melta-guns in there as well. The second battalion formation is mostly my infantry. You have the captain there. He has a power sword and plasma pistol. Another Primaris Psyker. 3 units of infantry, each one armed the same. So you have a Voxcaster and a Flamer in there, and the sergeants all have their trusty chainswords. They got 3 Chimeras. 1-3 right there is the dual heavy bolter one, which I'm getting to be pretty fond of. And then 1-2 and 1-1 have the traditional multi-lasers. And then also in that battalion you have 2 Sentinels with the heavy autocannons. And then lastly in the spearhead we have the Warlord. His Warlord trait in the Vanquisher is going to be Master of Command to give an extra order. He has a Vanquisher cannon and a pretty regular last cannon on there, that Lemon Russ. Also a tank commander here, and the Executioner with the plasma Executioner cannon on top. 2 plasma cannons on the side, heavy bolter in the front. Behind them we got 2 stock Lemon Russes with heavy bolters on front. And then we have the Punisher with the 3 heavy bolters there. Since we boosted up to 2,000 points, I was able to add a Manticore. There on the front you have a heavy bolter as well. So overall 10 command points. I do have 2 relics which are going to push me down to 9. My Tempestor Prime has the Laurels of Command. That will allow him to give an order to a unit he's already ordered on a 4+, which is very useful. And then Kurov's Aquila for the Warlord, allowing me to roll a d6 every time Jeremy uses a stratagem on a 5. I will gain a stratagem. So down to 9 command points, but that should be plenty for the guard.
Alright, today I'm bringing 2,000 points of Orks. It's going to be a battalion and a spearhead detachment. Starting with the spearhead, headquarters is going to be a weird boy with Dejump and Smite. Elite choices, I have 2 mechs, both of them with custom Mega Blasters. And 3 heavy support choices is 2 battle wagons and a big gun. 1 battle wagon just has Ard Case, no other upgrades. The other one has Ard Case, Def Roller, Big Shooter, and a cannon. Moving over to my battalion, we have my Warlord. He is a war boss with a Combi Scorcher, Power Claw, and Attack Squig, and he's going to have Tenacious Survivor as his Warlord trait. Next to him is his trusty Big Mech in Mega Armor with a custom force field. I have 3 elite choices with my battalion. First one is 5 Mega Knobs with 2 Combi Scorchers and 1 knob with Kill Saws. Also elite choice, I have a Doc on a bike with a Kill Saw and 12 Tank Busters, and they will be riding in a truck with a Big Shooter. And then troop choices, I brought 6. I have 3 units of 10 Orks with a Big Shooter, and the knobs have big choppers. 2 units of 11 Orks with a knob with a big chopper and big shooters. And 1 unit of 20 Orks with a slug of choppers, and they have a knob with a power claw and 2 big shooters, and they'll be riding in one of the battle wagons. Mega knobs will be in the other. That's 2,000 points and 7 command points.
All right, we'll be back with the mission and the board setup after this.
What is the location?
We'll be playing a Maelstrom of War Mission today, Cleanse and Capture. We have the deployment style where it kind of V's up and towards the middle. We have objective number 2 on the left. I placed the first objective. Number 3 next to this clump of woods. Number 4, right in the middle of that big ruin right there. Across the board we have number 1. We have number 6. And back by those orcs is number 5. So as you can see, Jeremy did a good job in picking both the deployment style when he rolled for it and then also that side of the table. So on my left, I have my Warlord and 2 stock Leman Russes. The Chimera here is making use of the amphibious rule and is in the river. He has a primary Psyker in it. Towards the center, I got my Executioner and my Punisher. They're being screened by that Chimera with a squad and a primary Psyker in it. And then that Sentinel all the way up front, 15-inch mark. On the right is the company commander's Chimera. And then we have this Manticore hiding behind the ruins and a Sentinel providing a guard for him. Jeremy, across the table, what do you got?
All right, starting over here by objective 1, I have 10 shooter boys, and there's a mech in that crater, a war boss, 11 slugger chopper boys, a battle wagon with the big mech and the 5 meganobs in it, 12 tank busters in this truck, 20 boys in this battle wagon. I've got 11 slugger chopper boys by objective 5, cannon in this building, 10 shooter boys behind this building, weird boy, pain boy, mech, 10 more shooter boys. That's it.
Okay, I just barely put my last unit down before Jeremy put his down, so we're going to roll on camera to see who has first turn. I get +1. That is a 1. That's not a good start. That is a 3, so Jeremy beats me 3-2. Last thing to do is try to steal the initiative. I'm not feeling it, but let's see. That's a 5. So, Jeremy, first turn to you. Good luck, sir.
All right.
It's worth mentioning that I put the 3 units of Tempestus Scions and the Tempestor Prime in reserve, so they will be grav shooting in at the appropriate time.
All right, this is my first draw for tactical objectives. I got secure objective 3, defend 5, which is right back in the orc lines, and secure objective 6, which is right in front of us. Should be able to get some of these to this turn.
So there's 6 right across the bridge, 3 a little bit close to Imperial lines, but doable, and then number 5 right in the heart of the orc lines. So absolutely doable, like you said, Jeremy.
All right, orc movement phase. These boys just shifted over to make room for the mech to run up. War Boss and this unit of Slugger Choppers, they advanced, got a 6, they're moving fast. The Battle Wagon also advanced. This truck just moved up 12, it did not advance. This Battle Wagon advanced 6, bulldozed through some trees and got right next to Objective 3, which is what I was looking for. This Pain Boy just moved into these woods here. These boys and the Weird Boy, they just sort of shifted around. This mech advanced, and these boys advanced onto Objective 6. That's all the Orc movement on the Psychic. Orc Psychic phase, he cast the jump successfully and moved the squad that was here, and they're now hiding out here close to his tank commander.
Plenty of line of sight blocking terrain on today's board. Should help the orcs out considerably. So now we're on to the orc shooting phase, which is always fun.
All right, some uneventful shooting from a lot of units. Cannon, missed. Big shooter, missed. Big shooter, missed. Big shooter, missed. Daka gun, missed. This mech's custom mega blaster, missed. So the only shooting that hit was the 12 tank busters shot at the Leman Russ with the Punisher cannon and managed to take 3 wounds off of it.
Those 3 wounds were after I used 2 stratagems on the Leman Russ. The first one was take cover to improve the armor save by 1, so it was saving on 4s. I rolled 3 saves off of the wounds that Jeremy did. Saved one of them, so I used a second stratagem for a reroll and saved another one, so it's down to 9 wounds. But did burn through 2 of my command points already, which is pretty good news for Jeremy because they are in short supply today. All right, so Jeremy, As far as scoring is concerned, you want to run us through that?
Okay, I secured objective 6.
Yes.
I am just within 3 inches of objective 3, so I got secure objective 3, and I'm 1 turn into defending objective 5. So 2 points so far, not a bad start.
Okay, and you said no assaults this turn, correct?
No assaults.
All right, so we have 1 turn for the 17 Shetland Light Dragoons to react before a wave of orcs comes crashing in on us. We'll be back with the cards for the guard. I'm going to be honest with you guys, kind of a tough draw for the Shelties at this point. Advance, get all my units out of the deployment zone is not going to happen. Psychological warfare, that's probably our best chance. And then area denial. Right now Jeremy is kind of towards the center of the board with quite a few things, so very tough draw for the Shelties. Turn 1 movement phase for the 17 Shetland Light Dragoons, and they're taking an aggressive posture. As you can see, my 2 squads here, along with the Primaris Psychers, have jumped out of their Chimeras. The anticipation is that these tanks over here, which shuffled around a little bit, are going to be able to destroy that vehicle. And I want these infantry guys to be able to shoot up whatever jumps out in the end. I moved this Chimera up to kind of block passageway through the ruins. And then Sentinel came up. This squad disembarked from its Chimera as well, more to screen than anything else. I moved my Manicore out behind the ruins to make use of the heavy bolter. Of course, since I run Talon Doctrine, it can still shoot as normal, which is good. And that Sentinel continues to screen for it. Back here, these 2 Leman Russes stood still, while, in order to bring some pressure onto Jeremy's right flank, all 3 squads and the Tempestor Prime have dropped in there. I'm really concerned about the troops here on my left flank coming up and taking away a lot of my firepower. So the hope here is we're going to be able to destroy them in detail and then concentrate on the rest of his army from afar. We'll see how that pans out as we go to the Guard Psychic phase, turn 1. Smashing start for the Shelties in their Psychic phase, as this Primaris Psyker right here casts Smite on the Battle Wagon, rolling an 11 and doing a total of 5 mortal wounds. This Psyker, also filled with the power of the Warp, casts Smite. He rolled a 10, so it was D3 wounds. I rolled a 2. And now that Battle Wagon is down to 9 wounds. So far the plan, going to plan. We'll see if the guard shooting can come through and knock that thing out of action. And hopefully these infantry can fire it up after that. So we'll be back after the guard shooting turn. The Imperial Guard shooting phase was deadly as ever, with orders being given out to the various units, starting with the Tempestor Prime over there. I used a stratagem so he could give an additional order. All 3 of those squads were given first rank fire, second rank fire. The Laurels of Command kicked off 1 time, allowing these guys to reroll 1s to wound. This squad targeted these poor orcs back here, killing all but 2. And they were aided in that effort with that squad right there, shooting 2 shots each. While that squad in the woods used its melta guns and hot shot last guns in order to take a total of 6 orcs out of this. So I'm feeling pretty good about my ability to get psychological warfare at this point. Other orders issued down here to these tanks. They're both going to move 6 inches after I get done recording this, so they're going to bump over a little bit more to the right, while that one did not get any orders. This tank right here gave Strike and Shroud to the Punisher, so he will have smoke on him in order to help protect him. And then this company commander, within 3 inches of a unit with the Voxcaster, reached all the way over here to give them first rank fire, second rank fire, and gave himself first rank fire, second rank fire. So what happened? Well, these 3 tanks combined to do a few wounds on the battle wagon here, but not much. That's when this tank stepped in, the Plasma Executioner, and overcharging its plasma guns, but not receiving any wounds because of good dice rolling, managed to destroy the tank. 4 orcs were killed getting out. After that, this Punisher opened fire on that truck, doing a total of 5 wounds, and so it's at half damage right now. Since we did blow up that battle wagon, that did indeed allow these 2 infantry squads to open up fire, and their combined fire killing a whole slew of orcs, but not enough to make the guard commander feel good about the position. So he called in fire from that Manicore, which killed an additional 3 orcs in the woods, ignoring their armor saves with its -2 AP. Over here, the 2 sentinels didn't manage to do anything to this battle wagon, but the combined 33 shots plus flamer did manage to pick off 2 wounds, but it's still in really good shape. Overall, I think the guard turn went pretty well. Jeremy's got to take some morale tests. We're going to see some more orcs flee, and we'll come back to the board after that's done, and we'll talk about my scoring. The assault phase is over. This brave sentinel driver has crashed into the orcs battle wagon there. No damage done either side, but I have at least tied him up so he's not doing a bunch of hits against those squishy guardsmen. As you can see, we've placed the smoke out in front of the Punisher, and these 2 tanks have moved their additional 6 inches using the Talon order in order to make sure that they are okay in range and have line of sight. Over on the morale phase, we have managed to secure this landing zone because these orcs right here didn't have a chance, and so the 2 ran off. This squad of orcs rolled a 5, so they lost an additional 3, just leaving 2 there. I'm feeling pretty good about that corner. Jeremy very wisely used 2 command points to go ahead and save these guys from having a morale check. So that brings us to the scoring. Guard have scored psychological warfare. I'm going to keep area denial, and I'm going to throw away advance. So
Orcs got defend objective 2, or defend objective 5 for 2 command points.
okay, the guard did get first blood, second blood, and third blood. They had a pretty bloody turn. So right now, you are sitting at 4, Jeremy. I am sitting at 2. This is, I feel good where I'm at on the board. We just got to parlay that into some more points. So we'll be back with Ork Turn 2, where they're going to bring the pain.
Orc tactical objectives for turn 2 is defend objective 2, witch hunter, and no prisoners. That should be fun.
Okay, so there in the corner is objective 2, Witch Hunter. There's a couple of targets there for him, and the other one, you just have to kill a unit, correct?
Correct.
I like your chances, Jeremy. So, still running up the score. We'll see if he gets 1 or 2 points this turn, and how much he kills. Orks Turn 2 movement.
Alright, movement phase. The boys that were in this crater, they advanced forward. This mech just moved forward into these ruins. This battle wagon dropped out its cargo and disengaged from that sentinel. Meganobs moved over here. The big mech moved over here. These boys moved up. The war boss advanced. Weird boy just shifted over. These orcs, the mech and the 2 remaining from that squad, they moved in on the scions. The bike moved up its 14 inches to get close to that psyker. These boys moved up in between the 2 squads, and the truck just moved forward a little bit, just put a little more pressure on the front lines. That is all of my movement onto Orc's psychic phase.
And Jeremy, with your cards, you're really hoping to kill at least 3.
At least 3. There's always the chance for 6. At least 3.
Yeah, it's awfully intimidating when you see this many orcs right in your front lines. You've done a good job getting them up close and giving yourself a chance here to score maybe D6 points with that card. So we'll see what happens. Be back after the Orc Psychic phase.
Orc Psychic phase, Weird Boy cast to jump again and move the squad next to him into these woods, putting a little more pressure on the middle.
Lots of pressure on the middle, that's for sure. Okay, now on to the Orc Shooting phase.
Alright, this was a pretty good round of orc shooting. These Meganobs, they jumped out, and with their 2 combi scorches, this guy with chainsaw hands somehow managed to throw a grenade, and they killed 8 of the guardsmen that were in front of them. This big mech's custom Mega Blaster got hot. I used a command point to re-roll it. Still didn't hit, but it did not wound my character. But there was a command point regained by the Imperial Guard.
Yeah, it's the second command point I've gained so far this turn. Jeremy's used 2 stratagems. I've rolled a 5 or better both times with Kurof's Aquila. So, doing well there.
Let's see. These units shot at this sentinel. This squad of boys didn't do anything, but the Combi Scorcha managed to take two wounds off of the sentinel. This big mech, his custom Mega Blaster, wounded him. You'll notice this is going to become a theme. These boys, they advanced, so they're hitting on 6s. They did not hit anything. Moving over here, combined shooting from this unit here, the big shooter on this truck, and this unit here. We managed to kill about 6 guardsmen out of this unit. This Knob, the Pain Boy, his DACA gun killed 1 guardsman off of this unit. And this cannon and this squad shot at this unit of Scions, managed to kill 1. And this mech also wounded himself with his custom Mega Blaster.
3 for 3, Jeremy.
And the highlight of my shooting was the Orks, in a spectacular fashion. The Tank Busters shot all of their rocket launchers at the Chimera that used to be here. Did a tremendous amount of wounds.
9 wounds. You hit 9 times, and then you wound it 9 times. I'd use my stratagem take cover in order to increase the armor save, but there wasn't saving on a 4-up 9 times.
But that Chimera did explode. It finished off the guard squad here. Yep. It damaged this Chimera, took 2 guardsmen off of this unit, and took 2 wounds off of the big mech.
I think you got 2 from your truck as well, correct?
It did hit the truck as
so
well.
So that's down to 3. So big explosion. Jeremy already has 2 units killed, and you feel pretty confident you're going to get 6, right?
I do. No prisoners. 6 units. I'm going for it.
Save a command point in case you roll a 1 on that one. All right, so we'll be back after the Orks turn 2 assault phase, charge phase, all that good stuff.
All right, the combined attacks of the War Boss and the squad here killed that Sentinel, and it did not blow up. The War Boss got it down to 1 wound, and the boys, through sheer weight of dice, took it down.
Yeah, just barely. And the Sentinel did get its last laugh in as the War Boss charged in. He hit him once with the autocannon, actually twice, but did 2 wounds to him on his way in. So
the Mega Knobs and the Big Mech, they killed the captain and dropped this Chimera to 1 wound. Couldn't get that last wound off. Unfortunate. I was really hoping to kill it. This red squad here, they did some damage to the squad to the right. I think they took off 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think. Yep.
3 guardsmen. We also killed the squad over here down to the last man, and the Knob killed the Primaris Psyker that was there. Truck whiff, didn't do anything. This Pain Boy here, we were interrupted during the combat phase, so he is down to 1 wound remaining, and he took that Primaris Psyker down to 1 wound remaining.
Yep, so I jumped in with my Primaris Psyker knowing he strength 5 with his stave and does D3 wounds. Managed to wound Jeremy twice. He managed to make 1 5-up save out of the 2, though. That's why he is still alive at this point. Did you talk about using the command point to kill that Psyker over there?
Oh, yes. For damage on this Psyker, I rolled 2 1s on my D3s for damage. I used the command point, and that killed him. It needed to happen because killing a Psyker was one of my objectives.
Yes.
Also, over here, this Knob managed to kill 2 Scions, and he took 1 wound in return.
Yeah, and I did kill 1, his buddy, in Overwatch, so that was a plus. But now we got plenty of morale checks to take, and we got to see where Jeremy's at as far as getting his 6 units killed during the turn. So we'll come back to you in just a minute after we take care of that business.
Okay, end of Ork Turn 2. In the morale, we managed to drop 2 more Scions due to leadership. And over here, this guard squad lost none. And this guard squad that only had 1 remaining guardsman, he is insanely brave, and 2 command points were used to keep him from fleeing. The major reason that those command points were used was because I only managed to destroy 5 units this turn, and I needed 6 for no prisoners to get the extra victory points. So a big loss for the Orks, not being able to kill the last guardsman or take the last wound off the Chimera.
Big loss for the Orks. Look at all the dead guardsmen. My God.
I need points.
All right, so talk about points real quick, Jeremy. What are you looking at?
I'm currently at 7.
And what'd you pick up this round?
I got 2 for no prisoners. Off of D3, I rolled 2. And Witch Hunter, I did manage to kill a Psyker. So I am at a total of 7, and I'm going to discard defend objective 2.
Okay, so we'll be back with guard turn 2 as we try to regroup after what was a brutal turn 2 from the Orks. So we'll be back with the guards. So the guard have pulled they have retained area denial, pulled secure objective 5 and assassinate. Important to note, if I can kill 3 of Jeremy's characters, I get D3 victory points instead. So let's take a look at the board and see where 5 is at. 5, if you remember, is quite some distance away. It's right in the middle of the Ork lines, at least where they used to be. The best chance over there is the Scions. Not this turn probably, but maybe in the future. So right now, the guard are just going to have to reconsolidate and then blow up some Orks and then try to score some objectives. So we'll be back after the guard movement phase. Turn 2, Imperial Guard, and the Shelties are in tough position here. Over on the right, I move the Sentinel back towards the Mana Core to kind of protect it, while I move this Chimera out of the combat it was in. I ensured that this Executioner was closest to that Meganob right there. What do you call that guy?
Big Mech.
Big Mech. And I moved my Punisher up in order to give my Plasma Executioner a little breathing room. These guys just shuffled around a little bit while he remained still. All guardsmen disengaged from combat, as did this Primera Psyker. This Chimera squeezed through there. And then those guys disengaged from combat. I advanced to the squad in the back while I just moved the squad forward. With some luck, I should be able to kill 3 characters here and start gaining some ground on Jeremy's points. But we shall see as we go to the guard second phase. This Primera Psyker, ladies and gentlemen, is something special. As he once again rolled 11 in order to smite the Mad Doc there. He did 2 points of damage, and Mad Doc failed both of his 6 ups. So he is dead. We are 1/3 the way of getting those 3 characters killed. Guard turn 2, shooting is complete, and it was interesting. Not sure it's going to be enough, ladies and gentlemen, but let's start with orders. So, Tank Commander gave himself and his wingman Strike and Shroud. So I'll put smoke markers on them here soon. Over here, this Tank Commander gave himself an additional move using the Talarn order, get behind them. In this case, to move farther away from them, but that's okay. While over here, the Laurels of Command popped twice for me, so that squad in front was using first rank fire, second rank fire, and also re-rolling ones to hit, while the squad in the back that advanced got to be able to go ahead and shoot after advancing, and also first rank fire, second rank fire. And there's the puppy dog sleeping. So let's talk about shooting. This Chimera over here opened up with both heavy bolters, killing the knob there that had 1 wound left. These guys did not receive an order, so they did nothing. While these guys, 2 squads combined to kill the Big Mech over here, and also the 2 Gretchen that were manning that cannon, since they were the closest, killed them dead, and the cannon goes away. So that was pretty good. Some combined firing over here. Well, let's start with the Punisher. Took care of those 6 guys, and then with its 9 bolter shots, heavy bolter shots, managed to take 3 from that squad over there. So it was pretty productive. This Leman Russ was not successful in taking out that tank. It took just about everything I had. Ended up this Leman Russ was able to take it out. 2 of those guys died coming out. And then I fired the Storm Eagle rockets from the Mana Core in order to take out an additional 4 in order to press them for morale. Bad battlefield calculation on my part resulted in that Big Mech having 1 wound left. I also took 1 mortal wound on him as he overcharged his plasma gun on the top. The Plasma cannons on the side, perhaps foolishly, were put into the squad of Meganobs there. They did kill one, and then they were helped out. Another two were killed by the Vanquisher cannon here. Being able to roll 2d6 and taking the highest was very helpful, and Jeremy, unfortunately for him, did not make any of the saves. That autocannon over there fired at that truck but didn't kill it. So I think that's the majority of the shooting done. With that, we'll come back with any morale we have to take. The guard will not be assaulting at this point. We're going to rely on the Orks' poor morale to try to maybe take some more folks off the board, and we'll see what we score. Morale checks are done, and the Orks did well. This squad of tank busters was feeding off that squad of 11, so there was really the only way they could have failed was if they rolled a 6. They did not. Well, this squad over here was using the Ork War Boss's leadership, and they passed their morale. And these guys needed to not roll a 6, and they did not roll a 6. So, across the board, while the Orks are thinned down, they still have quite a bit of teeth left. As far as secure scoring, we did get Assassinate, but only for 1 point, so that's going to bring me up to 3 points. I'm going to get rid of Area Denial, and we will keep Secure Objective 5 as we go into Ork Turn 3. And a game which right now has Jeremy at 7 points and the Shelties at 3.
All right, Ork Turn 3. Here are my tactical objectives. I'm not sure who's giving out these orders, but Area Denial should be good. Hold the line, and Secure Objective 2 is mission critical, so I need my War Boss to do that. Those two don't look like they're going to happen this turn.
Let's see where they are on the board. Area Denial certainly looks good as the Orks control the middle. He might be able to get the 3 points off of that one, to be honest, because I don't think I'm going to have anybody within, I think it's 9 inches. As far as Secure Objective 2, good luck with that, Jeremy, and hold the line. That's a lot of guardsmen that you need to take care of there. So we'll be back after the Ork movement phase.
All right, Ork movement phase, and also I did my psychic phase really quick. Movement phase, this battle wagon and these boys that were here, they kind of moved up and the boys jumped into the battle wagon. The mech, he's standing behind the battle wagon to try to get maybe a shot off onto this sentinel, or maybe the vehicle behind it, and also to try to repair a hull point to the battle wagon. Let's see. These boys, War Boss, Big Mech, and the Mega Knobs, they all advanced, but since they're all within 6 inches of the War Boss, that means that they will be able to still assault this turn. These tank busters bravely moved up. This squad here, they just moved forward, staying in the woods. They didn't really have anything to do this turn. And the weird boy cast a jump and put himself in the center of the board in the ruins there.
Okay, we'll be back after the Ork shooting phase.
At the end of the Ork movement phase, I did use this mech to repair 1 wound on this battle wagon. It's back up to 15, and it's a good thing he's good at fixing things because he's bad at shooting things. He did himself another wound with his custom Mega Blaster, trying to shoot at that Sentinel. Over here, the War Boss and the Mega Knobs, they shot backwards at this Chimera with their Scorches, managed to take that last wound off. Other than that, we did some shooting trying to hit this guardsman here, but we used this big shooter. We managed to wound him once, but he did make his save.
He's a survivor, Jeremy.
And these tank busters have been making money. They took 6 wounds off of the Lehman Russ directly in front of them.
Hit 5 out of 6 times again. Incredible. Okay, so next is the assault phase. We'll be back.
All right, Ork assault phase. To start with, the 2 Mega Knobs, they tried to charge into this Executioner. He used a stratagem of
defensive gunners.
Defensive gunners. And with that, he was able to easily finish off those 2 Orks before they got in.
So for 1 command point, defensive gunners lets you hit on 5s and 6s on Overwatch. I think amazingly, I rolled mostly 6s.
Mostly 6s.
I did take 2 mortal wounds by rolling some 1s, but worth it to take out that threat.
Also, the squad of boys that was here,
They assaulted into the Punisher cannon and the one lone guardsman that was remaining. They lost six boys in Overwatch, but the Nob was able to make it in. And with those units being tied up, that means that the War Boss and the Mega Nob were also both able to charge into the Punisher cannon without having to face any Overwatch. Because of that, the Big Mech, he destroyed the Punisher and then consolidated into the Vanquisher.
Executioner.
The Executioner to tie that up. And this Nob, overcompensating for something, just completely killed that Guardsman. At the same time, these Tank Busters consolidated into the Guardsman here. No wounds were inflicted, but they are locked in combat. And still the one lone Nob is standing there alone and unafraid. Also, charge phase. This battle wagon tried to make it in that Sentinel, but nothing happened. We failed to charge, and they failed to hit us in Overwatch. That is it for the assault phase.
All right, so this Nob needs a morale check. The closest unit to him, or the unit that he can use, could he use the
War Boss's leadership of 8.
So his leadership's 8. His squad has lost those 6, so he needed 2 or less here. As a 3, sir.
He is dead.
All right. As far as scoring, I don't have anybody within 12 inches of the center of the table, so you'll get D3 for that if you want to roll that up. To add to your set. Oh, there's... Wow. All right. Now you're at 10, correct?
Correct.
Nothing else scored.
And I will be discarding the secure objective 2. That's not happening.
For obvious reasons. Okay, not a bad turn for you. Guard need to regroup and start scoring some points here. Otherwise, we're going to lose. So we'll be back on Guard turn 3. Guard retains secure objective 5, and we're going to need to hoof it in order to score that as soon as possible. Defend objective 4, and secure objective 6 we're drawing this turn. That's objective 4, which needs to be defended. That's objective 6, which needs to be secured. And objective 5, that needs to be secured. So we'll be back after the guard movement phase. Turn 3, guard movement is complete, and it started with this Plasmacutioner moving out of combat the full 10 inches, leaving those orcs confused. While these 2 tanks shuffled around here to the left, I kept those guardsmen in combat. I want to focus power on those guys right there. And in order to do that, I have moved the one squad of 2 Scions into that Chimera, and it's up there securing objective number 6 for me. Those guys have moved as well, while both the Tempestus Scion squad and the Prime advanced in order to try to move towards objective 5 behind that building. So unusually short on models from what I'm used to. So we'll see how it plays as we go to the guard shooting phase. I should add psychic phase. I went ahead and did that. He tried to cast smite. He'd been boss all day, but this time he rolled a 4. So no smite for him. So we'll go on to our shooting phase. Guard turn 3 shooting phase began with me executing some orders. The first one was for him to move an additional 6 inches using the Talon special rule. While these 2 tanks, this one right here, and the tank commander did the same thing. So they shot and they moved. Over here, that Tempester Prime gave the orders for that squad to move, and rolled over a 4 for his Laurels of Command, but that really didn't help me. But with that Scion right in there in the doorway, I am within 3 inches of objective 5, so that will be secured. This squad was given the order to first rank fire, second rank fire, shooting 10 shots and killing 1 guy out of there. All the rest of the damage for those guys in there was done by the 2 stock Lehman Russes, while the Vanquisher opened up with vengeance on this truck. Not truck, it is a battle wagon, doing 15 wounds to it. Hit all 3 times, rolling those 2d6, just a ton of damage. Last cannon hit as well. But that left it with 1 wound. So I tried to destroy it with the autocannon here from the Sentinel. It hit but failed to wound, which meant I had to do a devastating barrage with these Storm Eagle rockets. A bit of a waste, unfortunately. But in the end, only 1 rocket made it through because Jeremy made 2 6-up saves. But it was enough to finish it off. One of those orcs died getting out. Unfortunately, it did not explode. So with that, we did pretty well. We're going to do a quick assault phase, and then we'll be back with the guard score after this. So in Imperial Guard turn 3 assault phase, that Sentinel went ahead and tied up those Orks. Traded blows, but no damage done on either side as the Sentinel made 2 armor saves. That's why I like the armored ones. Over here is a 1-for-1 exchange. 1 tank busta for 1 guardsman. I like that as they are still tied up. And then Jeremy, you will have a leadership test here to make, and I think he's going to fail LSU.
I'm not spending command points. He's gone.
All right, Jeremy has 2 command points left. I have 1. So for scoring, the guard has secured 6, and they have secured 5. They did not get defend 4. So altogether now that gives me 4 points off cards, plus 1 for First Blood. So that is right now 10 to Jeremy's Orks, I believe.
Yes.
Versus 5 for my guard. I need some good cards. I'm going to go ahead and throw away secure objective 4, or defend objective 4, in the hopes that I get some better cards and we can score those a little bit easier as we go into Ork turn 4. Very exciting game. All right, Jeremy, what'd you draw?
All right, Ork turn 4. I got hold the line still, and conflicting orders of advance were drawn, and I have defend objective 3.
Drunken Commander in full effect. All right, we'll show you where objective 3 here is in a second. This here is objective 3, which Jeremy would have to hold for 2 turns, his and mine. Obviously, the full might of the Imperial Guard armor forces are over there, so it will be risky, but for 2 points, is he going to take it? That's the question. We'll be back after his movement phase. So we've combined the Ork movement, psychic, and shooting phases here. Jeremy, take us through.
Okay, movement phase, you just had the War Boss and the mech. They advanced towards that Leman Russ. This weird boy moved so that that Leman Russ was the closest unit and within 18 inches. And this mech over here just walked into these trees next to this building. Psychic phase. I used my second to last command point to get a reroll so that I could get smite off. I only managed to take 1 wound off of the tank.
Kurov's Aquila did not kick in.
Then shooting phase. War Boss. He managed to get 6 hits with his Scorcher, and he took 3 wounds off of the Leman Russ. And my big mech, he managed to do nothing.
He overheated himself again.
Yes, he overheated himself again. I had to use my last command point to keep him from dying.
Kurov's Aquila again did not kick in, so I'm still at 1 command point.
And then this mech over here, he shot over here. He hit but failed to wound. And that's the entirety of Orc shooting, psychic, and movement.
All right, so now we're on to a very exciting assault phase. I got 1 command point left. Can you guess what stratagem I have in mind? If you guess defensive gunners, you are correct. We'll be back. Let me just start by saying defensive gunners did nothing except cause me 2 mortal wounds. Jeremy.
All right. These Orcs over here with this mech, they managed to kill off that Sentinel. They consolidated 3 inches forward. Over here, the War Boss and Big Mech, they managed to get this Leman Russ down to 1 wound. But Leman Russ, in turn, dealt a wound to the Big Mech, who failed his 2-up armor, and with no command points left, he's gone.
So the defensive gunner actually grabbed a wrench and hit him over the head, I think. That's how he interpreted the order.
And then over here is a wash. No one did any wounds to anyone. And that is the entirety of the assault phase.
So no morale required at this point. As far as scoring, Jeremy.
I scored advance. And I will be discarding hold the line.
All right. So Jeremy at 11. I need some big points here, people. It's going on to guard turn 4. Fortunately, I get to draw 3 cards. Let's see what we get. The guard got 2 good cards and 1 bad card for turn 4. Secure objective 2 twice, and then scour the skies. This, ladies and gentlemen, is objective number 2. Okay, we're going to show you the guard turn 4 movement because it could be decisive. Move the Plasmacutioner out of contact with the War Boss, and I moved my mana core 12 inches, so he is now the closest. Using the Talon Doctrine, I'm still able to fire heavy weapons at full ballistic skill. So, hopefully, my last Storm Eagle rocket and the heavy bolter will be able to take him out, and leaving those guys open. Over here, I'm going to move these guys out of combat. Sorry, Jeremy, I forgot to do that. While these tanks kind of shuffled around a little bit in order to get some shots off, I left my Primaris there. These guys advance, as did the Prime, and these guys advance, and I put the Chimera up there with the heavy bolters. So I'll just go ahead and move these guys out of contact, and then we're going to go ahead and do our psychic and shooting phase all together. The 17 Shetland Light Dragoons have performed admirably. Will it be good enough? That's going to be the question. Okay, after I move those guys out of combat, again, apologies, Jeremy, for not doing that earlier before I start to record, we opened up fire with those guys who got their order, first rank fire, second rank fire, and then the Tempestor Prime with his Laurels of Command rolled a 5, so he gave them, the first order he gave them was to shoot after advancing, then first rank fire, second rank fire. Combined with the heavy bolter from there, and these two heavy bolters did in those guys. That allowed the two battle cannons to shoot down here, and their combined firepower managed to destroy all 8 of that squad. After this squad right here was destroyed, the Vanquisher tank commander, who had given orders to reroll 1s to himself, and that Leman Russ right there, did have line of sight to the weird boy in there. Hit him once with the Vanquisher cannon. Jeremy didn't have a save. Rolled the 2d6 and got 5 wounds off of him, so he is now dead as well. Well, this mana core did exactly what I needed him to. He closed the distance, fired off a barrage, with the storm rockets. Ended up doing 4 wounds going through, which were D3 each. Even with Tenacious Survivor, that Warlord was not surviving. So that leaves Jeremy with 1 mech boy on the board. If he can maybe hide him and survive, he is up on points. I got 2 more points this turn for securing objective 2. Presumably, I will get behind enemy lines, so that's going to make it close. But at this point, Jeremy is winning with a fairly significant margin. We'll see if he can survive in the game end. So we'll be back with the Consolidate Ork Turn after this. All right, Jeremy, your cards as if they matter.
Okay, as if they matter. Defend objective 3, secure objective 1, and assassinate.
All right, let's take a look at the quickest turn in Warhammer history. You, sir! That is some orc cunning right there. What'd you do?
I advanced my mech behind this building, trying to hide. I figure I have 1 turn to just hope that the heavy bolters from 1 vehicle don't kill me, and the game ends.
Oh boy. All right, well, we will see as far as your score right now. How many points you have?
I have 11.
And I have 8, counting Slay the Warlord, so let's see what my cards have. Maybe I'll just win this on cards. That could happen, right? We'll see. All right. Orc cunning notwithstanding, let's see if the guard can pull out a victory.
Walk away from there, okay?
So the guard is not going to win this on cards this turn. They got secure objective 1, secure objective 4, and defend objective 3. Can't get defend objective 3 if the game ends here. So we'll take a look at where these objectives are. That is objective 1, way back in the corner. This is 3, which needs to be defended, and 4 right there in the middle, which needs to be secured. Best chance there are probably the Scions. We're gonna have to stretch here, see what we can do. But mostly just kill that cunning little mech boy there hiding behind that church, which the God Emperor himself saw fit to let withstand the reign of terror that had overtaken this imperial town. It's the only thing left standing in the town, and now it's being used by filthy Xenos forces in order to possibly win the game. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, Jeremy, good luck.
All right.
But not that good luck.
Whew.
So the Tempestus Scion squad that was there advanced 6 inches, moving a total of 12 to secure 4 in order to secure that. 1, of course, was out of reach. All the Tempestus Scions that were over here jumped into the Chimera that was on there. It went ahead and advanced 6 inches, so it moved a total of 18. They're on a kill mission, if need be, to go get that big mech. And right now, it still needs to happen, because despite the Talon Doctrine and the 3 shots from the heavy bolter, we failed to do any hits on that mech. That big mech which might win Jeremy the game. So Jeremy, If you would care to roll to see if the game continues on a 1 or a 2, it does. On a 1 or 2, it does not. On a 3 or better, it does, and I still have a chance.
All right.
That's a 3.
I concede.
Good game, sir. We'll be back with the post-game wrap-up.
All right.
That was, that roll right there. If it would have gone another way, this game would have been for the Orks. But we'll be back.
That's a direct order. Do it now.
Jeremy, welcome back to the channel. I don't think we could have had a more exciting game than that right there.
No, yeah, that one came right down to the wire.
Because if you were tracking along with the game, you know Jeremy had me on points. And if he would have rolled that 1 or 2, victory would have been his. You might have felt a little shady winning with all the stuff I had left versus your 1 mech with 1 wound in the corner. But a victory is a victory, especially for Orks against a very powerful Imperial Guard Codex right now.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There was a lot of models left on the board for your army at the end there. But my mech was ready to call in reinforcements, but he decided against it.
We kind of joked he should have taken shelter inside the church. The Imperial Guard don't have jurisdiction there. We would have had to call the Sisters of Battle. It would have been a big thing. But he didn't do that. He did survive. But fortunately for me, the game went on, and you conceded. So tell us a little bit about your list. It was a bit different today.
It was a bit different. I tried to use just multiple small units to saturate the targets. And I knew that I was going to lose most of my models. So I just wanted to get a head start, getting as many objectives in the early part of the game to try to come up on points, because I knew that it was going to end close to what it did. So I feel that my army did what it needed to try to get a win against the Imperial Guard. And it really, it came right down to it. Tank busters are very good.
Yes, indeed.
Dealing 3 wounds every time, not D3, but straight 3 wounds. They really shone. And the Mega Knobs, they cost nearly a quarter of the points of my army.
Wow.
When you add that in with the big mech. But it was worth it. They did a significant amount of damage.
They did. We talked a little bit about that. The issue in 8th edition with units like that is if you can't surround what you're trying to charge, then that unit, if it survives, just generally pulls back from the fight and then opens them up to the overwhelming firepower of the rest of the army. My Dark Eldar have the option to use my bikes in order to make sure people can't retreat outside that 1 inch, but you don't really have that. Maybe Storm Boys would be an answer, but they die so quickly, I'm not sure that would even work for you. So you're faced with the situation of a high point unit like that, goes in, it kicks a bunch of teeth in, but then it's opened up. Now yours did survive. I think I surprised you a little bit with that defensive gunner stratagem.
Yes.
And I rolled well there in order to kill them coming in. But overall, I think they performed well, and I think your list performed pretty well.
Thank you much.
As far as my list, I'm back up to 5 tanks, which I certainly enjoy. I know the Vanquisher cannon on the Commander might not be the best choice, but boy, is it a lot of fun. Rolling 2d6 when you get that hit and wound just manages to do a ton of damage when it works out. And even though the battle cannon might be a better choice on the Lehman Russ, I'm going to stick with that Vanquisher cannon, I think, because it's too much fun not to. Scions, once again, did their job. I like really bringing them in as one group. I use that stratagem in order for the Tempestor Prime to give the extra order and then use those Laurels of Command to build the orders on top of each other. So they go in and they secure an area of the board. Now, on today, maybe a tactical mistake on my part is I brought them in on my left side in order to secure that area because that's where the majority of my firepower and my tanks were. And I was really worried about you sneaking some orcs up there and getting into combat and locking my tanks up, especially with the deployment zone that we got. I didn't have a lot of strategic maneuver space, and I certainly wasn't going to be able to back up. So it was important that I kill the threats over there, which the Scions are exceptionally good at doing. And then what it did after that is it really kept them out of the game as far as being able to affect the end game, as far as securing objectives and killing things. Again, the orders really help out. You can advance and then still shoot, and sometimes even shoot with double capacity with first rank fire, second rank fire after advance for the Emperor. But I got lucky there. And then the Chimeras, I still really enjoy my Chimeras. You saw today I had 1-3 painted up. I got them last week, and that is a double heavy bolter Chimera. I think it's a very effective tank. It's actually 2 points cheaper than one armed with the multi-laser. You're giving up 1 point of strength for 1 point of AP, and with the Talon Doctrine still hitting on 4s after moving all around, I think that's a really good trade.
With the majority of its targets being toughness 4 or less, it doesn't matter having them -1 strength. So the heavy bolter is probably the better option.
Yep, I wish I would have kept the heavy bolter kits on my old Chimera as well. I will say the multi-laser does look better. Other than that, I think I played pretty solidly. Obviously, the bubble wrap or the screen that I had set up with my guardsmen didn't last very long once the Orks got into the lines. Orks do what they do best once that happens, and they just chopped right through them.
Yes.
Almost got that 6 kills on that one turn, which would have been huge. I wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game, but I think just, as far as the moral victory
was
that would have been huge. It was 2 command points in the stratagem to ignore the morale for that unit that had 9 guys wiped out and was down to the sergeant. That saved me from giving up the D6 instead of the D3. Other than that, what else you got?
That's about it. It was a really fun game. I'm going to keep playing with my orc list, try to find something that's effective in 8th edition.
Okay, I think you're almost there. I think we talked about next time we play. I think a Drukhari versus Orc game would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really kind of mix it up and see who is the king or queen of close combat on that. So you'll have that one to look forward to next time Jeremy comes over. Hope you enjoyed the battle report. If you did, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys back here soon with another battle report. Bye-bye.